40-kilogram weighted pull-up is one of the most respected strength achievements in calisthenics, not because of the number, because of what it usually takes to achieve it. You've probably seen it before. That one athlete who looks unusually strong for his size. Thick lats, dense upper back, the kind of pulling strength that makes bodyweight exercises look effortless. The interesting thing is that most people never get there. And it's not because you're lazy, not because you don't train hard, but because somewhere along the way, progress stops. The weight stops going up, the reps stop increasing, and eventually, you start wondering if you've actually reached your limit. So in this video, I'll break down exactly why most people never reach a 40-kilogram weighted pull-up, the mistake that causes progress to stall, and the progression strategy that keeps strength climbing long after everyone else gets stuck. Chapter 1. 40 kilograms isn't just a number. The reason a 40-kilogram weighted pull-up is so respected has very little to do with the number itself. It has everything to do with what that number represents. When most athletes think about a heavy weighted pull-up, they focus on the weight hanging from the belt. What they don't see is everything that came before it. The months of progression, the hundreds of workouts, and the consistency required to push through every plateau. Because the truth is that a 40-kilogram weighted pull-up isn't built in a single workout. And that's why athletes capable of heavy weighted pull-ups often look different. Their physique gives it away before they even take their shirt off. And it's the kind of back and arms you don't get from random workouts. And that's the reason so many athletes chase this milestone. They don't really want the number. They want what the number represents. A stronger back, a stronger upper body, and the pulling strength that makes front levers stronger, muscle-ups more explosive, and one-arm pull-ups feel far more attainable. The surprising part is, you don't fail because you lack potential. You fail because you lose progress, long before you ever discover what you're capable of. And that's why so many athletes never reach this goal. The thing is, weighted pull-up progress often stalls long before it should. Chapter 2. Why most people never get there. The beginning of weighted calisthenics is exciting. You start adding weight. The numbers climb quickly. Every few weeks you're getting stronger and hitting a new personal record. And that's exactly why so many athletes develop bad habits early. Because when everything is working, it's easy to assume you know what you're doing. You add weight, you get stronger, you repeat, until one day it stops working. The reps stop increasing. The weight feels heavier than it should, and the progress that once happened every week suddenly disappears. You interpret this as a sign you've reached your potential. In reality, it's usually the point where intelligent progression becomes more important than effort alone. This is where most weighted pull-up journeys quietly die. Not because you stop training, but because you stop progressing. The workouts and motivation continues, but the actual progression slows to a crawl. And the worst part? You mistake a plateau for a limit. The truth is, you're often much closer to a breakthrough than you realize. Because nothing kills motivation faster than feeling like you're working hard without moving forward. You don't need more motivation. You need to understand the mistake that's quietly stopping your progress. Chapter 3. The biggest mistake. The biggest mistake isn't lack of effort. It's progressing based on feel. This is one of the most common mistakes in weighted calisthenics. A workout feels easy, so you add weight. A workout feels hard, so you don't. Every decision becomes emotional. And over time, progress becomes completely unpredictable. The problem is that feelings are unreliable. Some days you sleep better. Some days you eat more. None of those things should determine whether progression happens. Because strength is built by following a progression system. The strongest weighted pull-up athletes don't ask themselves if they feel strong enough to increase the load. They ask whether they've actually earned it. Did they reach the target reps? Did they hit the progression criteria? If the answer is yes, they increase the weight, usually in small jumps. If the answer is no, they continue building until they do. But that's exactly what you never do. And that's why you plateau long before reaching your true potential. The athletes who continue building bigger backs, thicker upper bodies, and heavier pull-ups aren't necessarily more gifted. They simply follow a progression system. Because when progression becomes random, results eventually become random too. And when results become random, it's not just your numbers that stop improving. Your physique often stops changing as well. The good news is that long-term progress isn't complicated. In fact, it comes down to 3 simple rules. Chapter 4. The 3 rules of long-term progression. By the time you reach a plateau, you assume you need a better program. But long-term progress is usually much simpler than that. It doesn't come down to secret exercises or perfect genetics. It comes down to 3 simple rules. Track everything. Earn weight increases. And expect plateaus. Everything else is built on top of those three ideas. Because what gets measured gets improved. Without tracking, it's impossible to know whether you're progressing or simply repeating the same workouts. Hit the target, then increase the load. Small jumps repeated over time create big numbers. And when progress eventually slows down, you don't panic. Because plateaus aren't failures, they're part of the process. And that's why long-term strength isn't built through motivation. It's built through systems. Because when you have a system, progress stops feeling random. And you always know what to do next. That system is what I want to show you next. Chapter 5. The system behind it. A 40-kilogram weighted pull-up isn't built through motivation. It isn't built through random workouts. It's built through progression, through tracking, and through structure. The athletes who eventually reach impressive weighted pull-up numbers are rarely doing something magical. They're simply following a system that keeps them moving forward long after beginner gains disappear. They know when to increase the load. They know when to stay patient. They know what to do when progress slows down. And they remove as much guesswork as possible. Because the easier it is to know what to do next, the easier it becomes to stay consistent. And consistency is what builds bigger backs, stronger weighted dips, and the kind of upper body physique most athletes are after. That's exactly why I put together the weighted calisthenics system. Not to make training more complicated, but to remove as much guesswork as possible. Inside, you'll find the exact progression framework I personally use. A tracker that tells you exactly when to add weight so you're never guessing, and step-by-step coaching videos that walk you through form, diet, warm-ups, and what to do the moment you hit a plateau. All laid out for you inside the ebook. Most people see their next jump in load within 2 to 3 weeks of using the tracker, not months of guessing. So instead of wondering what to do next, every workout, you can focus on what actually matters: progress. It's linked below, 27% off, and the sooner you grab it, the sooner you start that 2 to 3 week climb. Because once you start training like this, something interesting happens. Chapter 6. What happens when you stick with it? Something interesting happens when progression becomes systematic. It stops feeling random. Month after month, your loads increase. Your reps improve. And your strength starts reaching levels that once felt impossible. As your strength improves, your physique follows. Your back becomes thicker. Your arms become more developed. Your upper body starts carrying more muscle. Not because of a secret exercise, and not because of genetics, but because progressive overload has been applied consistently over time. This is the part most people never experience. Not because they can't, but because they quit right before it compounds. You stop trusting the process, you start guessing again, and you walk away from the one thing that was actually working. The only difference between you and someone with a 40-kilogram pull-up is whether you stay consistent long enough to let it compound. Everything you need to do that, the framework, the tracker, the coaching, is in the guide below, still 27% off. The sooner you start, the sooner that's you.